and just take it outright, knowing that the Nyx is out of the pool?
Why not?
Well,
I would
that's
much
clearly
rather see
playing
a
into
clockwork.
TNC's
I think they
hand,
need to
right?
prioritize. I think they need to prioritize that 3-4 position. Oh,
Say
wow,
again.
first pick once again. The White Winter Lacoste strikes.
White
Man's been
Winter.
killing it since 6.48.
I don't. Can I have my
Yeah,
own
what is
name
the-
like White Lacoste or
Oh, all right,
White
there you
Lacoste.
go.
or just White, Mr. White?
Mr. White.
Yeah.
Pretty fly for a white guy.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, I like the
We already
reasoning.
used that lyric.
I
Come on,
know.
Alan.
Well, we hope those are not the same people listening to the cast, so
There you go. You didn't need to sell me out there, Gab.
we can use the
You're
good
right,
joke
my
2 or
bad.
3 times.
I like the reasoning behind this. Newbies look very comfortable with this hero for well, there's a term in Chinese that basically means the harvest, and so if you look at SCCC, some of the heroes that he excels on, there's kind of these harvest position heroes where he gets to farm a little bit. He's the person who comes in and finishes the fight with the damage and cleans things up instead of the person who starts it or mixes it up to begin with. So if we're talking about a Queen of Pain, a TA, some of these signature SCCC heroes, the Invoker even, that kind of fits his profile. So that with this being such a strong TNC hero as well, that also adds to their fast tempo, I think this Queen of Pain is a nice first pick for them, especially with the Nyx out.
Let's create a Western meme, guys. Right? Harvest, SC, also the first 2 leathers in Scythe. What you would use for a harvest, also something to clean up, you know, the end of a fight.
Are you gonna
There's-
finish
there's a
this?
meme
Are you
there,
gonna
Jack.
finish this
There's a
setup
meme
by the
there.
end of
Oh,
the
I thought you were
draft,
going
Cap?
the Reaper Scythe direction, Cap.
That too. There's so many ways to. We could get a complex Western meme.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, so TNC do open the StarLadder Lena. The StarLadder is something that they'll run in
5
both the 3 and 4
seconds
position. Both Sam H and Tim's will play that hero. They've shown they can get a pretty good Blink Dagger timing out of it. The Lena, of course, the response to the first Queen of Pain, Cuckoo Lena. That's a classic hero for them, and he's very confident in that laning matchup.
Is it better to have StarLadder versus Quap than like Ogre?
Depends on the. Whoa, see, okay, I was gonna say depends on the roaming or dual mid potential from the other side. Now you maybe wish you'd pick the Ogre because the Bane absolutely capable of supporting that Quap.
I don't feel that Slaughter during that first 3-4 minutes dual mid laning stage. I don't find him that strong at all. I mean,
Yeah.
he just
Oh, no
goes
way,
in,
yeah.
especially against a hero that is Queen of Pain. She's a ranged hero, 600 range.
The only thing that StarLadder gives you is he's a 4-position Blink Dagger initiator. So maybe that says from the off-lane position that they aren't getting an initiator. I don't know. That's the only thing that says to me. I really feel like there are other supports, even outside of Ogre, that would have secured the lane a little bit better against this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I'm not sure they picked
But-
it for that reason, like to try and body the Queen of Pain. It's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
you might
Yeah,
not
no,
want to be
it's
running
not
at it
at
with the
all.
starter. But maybe it's still a small possibility they use it, if not as a roamer, kind of as an offlaner. That minus armor is pretty good against the newbie hero so far, and like a more synergy with the setup stun as well.
No, we have seen StarLadder roam mid in this tournament, but it's typically after he gets maybe a level or 2 in the sideline, so he comes in and roams at the 3 or 4 minute mark to prevent that lane from getting too out of control.
I think you ban Troll and maybe Ursa just to be safe. Terrorblade instead.
Can't argue with
You
that.
wanted to
You
say
know they can't
Terrorblade,
go-
right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I was thinking about Lifestealer, but the Bane kind of puts a stopper in that one.
Yeah, Bane is the ultimate
Yeah,
counter for
Darkseer right here for
for
Sam H
Nyx.
and TNC. One of his 2 signature heroes, the other being the Axe.
So there's the. It's either a Blink Dagger offlaner right now, or a mech hero. It seems like.
Well, they
That's
can
what
get
the Slaughter
all of
says
that
to me,
in
you
Tide
know.
Hunter.
And
He's the full
He's the
package.
ultimate, yeah.
I'd still like to see them try out the KP Doom.
Reserve time.
What hero did they have yesterday when they ran the draw strat? What was the
Uh,
offlane? Was it Batrider?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
was the,
the
4
only one
position
melee was
lever.
Ogre.
Then Undying, I believe, in Nyx.
What
Oh,
about
that was
the
other game.
what about the Lycan here? Because you're dealing with the Darkseer in lane. We've already seen that a couple times.
Oh, that's a good
in this
idea.
tournament. One of the few cores it seems that can deal with the Darkseer 1v1.
He has enough region with Feral Impulse to stay on the lane and just has a good kill potential later on. Can outrun Darkseer actually.
Yeah, and you've got so far like 2 very big fighting heroes in your opener, which would both take advantage of Hal.
It's kind of also able to run down like the Lina and Darkseer, but I think Newbee might have to be careful with their core pick here. If they go once again in an agreed direction or maybe reveal their core too soon, I could see TNC going kind of that CIS route, but potentially a lifesteal or a disrupt or something like that gives them that combo already to add on top of what the Darkseer has. And if they're ahead, the Darkseer or the disruptor is even more valuable.
Good call.
Who's the master of the Chinese teams now, Jack? No, I do agree with you. I thought they were going to go for the other support, like a Leshrac or something. What are other good like Bane setup heroes from support for this game?
They might go for
Kunkka, yeah.
Kunkka or Clockwork maybe. That's the initiation they lack, and it's a good setup with a sleep and cogs, battery assault.
Yeah, and we saw KP on that hero earlier in this tournament. Looked very good.
They're
Good disrupting those combos too. If you're Alina or StarLadder, you don't really want a Clockwork to be there.
And that's, yeah,
holding the Darkseer in place potentially too.
And the Sven versus the Lycan. Sven's one of the few cores that can actually stand up to Lycan. The problem is that Lycan just likes to go for your back line at that point in time, but you still have at least
no problem,
Warcry.
boys. It's all good. Tidehunter. What do we guess? 3 out of 4 so far.
Yeah.
Not bad.
All 4 mines are smarter than 1, and 5 mines are smarter than 4, I guess. So Newbee knows what they're gonna pick.
Now, if only we knew who was going to win.
Who's gonna right? I was gonna say
we can choose all the heroes we want, but when it comes down to the clutch, we choke every time, guys.
So actually, we're bad at picking heroes. That's what you want to say. We pick bad lineups.
Yeah, we're good at predicting bad lineups.
So both teams looking to fill out their support pairings going into the 5th picks here.
I still think Clock can do so good for Newbee. Good against StarLadder, good against hero like Sven. Just to control him, he can't get in. With a BKB, yes, but...
I wouldn't be surprised to see another potentially like a Pudge or something this game from Newbee. You have the added pressure and threat that puts on mid. You have kind of a combo set up with the Bane. You have the ability to save heroes from the front line against some of the burst combos from TNC and of course from the Sven, and kind of just deposition TNC's heroes. So
you guys wanna hear my? I have 2 predictions here, right?
Go for it.
One normal, one crazy.
Go with crazy first.
The normal one. You made me lose my train of thought. What happened? The other support, Disruptor. Oh, damn it! All right, well, Newbee Bandit. Either way. And then the crazy pick for TNC is they put Lina on support and run Tinker mid.
Bam.
You've got to set up for the support Lina. I still think that Newbee...
well, look at that Clockwork, man. Look, it was the perfect pick for
exactly.
Newbee.
You know,
I'm in 1437's head right now.
I'd still love to see them bring back the Kaka Phoenix, but I don't know if this game for it. I think they need some disable. I think they need something that's set up by the Bane Sleep.
Pretty ballsy to actually pick a Sven in a hero like a Bane, and they still have a frontliner like a Tidehunter. I mean, Bane is the ultimate counter for Sven.
I wonder if maybe they can grab like this hero hasn't been around a little bit, but say like a Shadow Demon or something.
What about Crystal Maiden?
What about Shadow Shaman?
Still going with Pudge here though.
Shadow Shaman?
Well, I had my pick, the best one, but they banned it out.
Kunkka, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's the second one.
Damage. Man, we're so good.
All right, now
just
here
roll
you go,
Tinker,
Cap.
baby. That's
There you
for
go,
all the
Cap.
money. Come on.
You know what we do? I think when we get like 3 out of 5 picks for one team, we always go with that team.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's absolutely true. No,
You get the bias of like, I'm so
Yeah,
good.
and
Well,
then
no,
you
it's
go
a-
with that team and they lose.
But it's a natural bias because you understand that team's draft better. You kind of know what they're gonna do.
If it's
Are
a
you
support,
saying we don't understand?
If it's a support
The
Lina,
other
what
team,
about
Alan?
the,
Is that what you're saying?
What about the OD if it's a support Lina? You can save from some of that setup, from the Bane, from the Lycan for a little bit.
And Cuckoo OD is just so sick.
I don't know. Against Lycan,
I
OD doesn't
I
seem
still
that good.
think
He
that
needs to run once
it's
Lycan goes
way
in with
more
a
stable to
with a
pick
BKB.
support here.
Besides, if they were to go a core, it would clearly be Tinker, guys. Come on.
I mean, TNC can take the little shock for themselves. They've done so well with these pushing supports.
they'd go with the support route, what other supports kind of would they consider Spirit Breaker or something like that here? Oh, there's
The Tinker
There he is.
Capitalist. I'm so
I am the
sorry. I'm
champ.
sitting here right now.
Just don't-
Now I'm going to predict the
Now
wrong
the
team
hard
to
part.
win.
I
The
go
hard
Newbee.
part.
All right, Lacoste with Newbie, making it 1. Jack?
on, man.
All right. I'm going to have to go with Newbie here as well.
In their minds, man, it's the TNC Tinker.
Go with Newbee.
I actually don't know. Whatever. I think TNC. I'm gonna go TNC,
No, you can't
not
do
because of the
that.
draft,
You
but because I think they're the better team here.
I am going to go TNC as well. We're not going to have a panel curse again. Newbie need this game to stay alive in the tournament. One more time over to our casters. Here are Lyrical and Merlini.
Thank you very much. Panel, they are not going to be able to curse. I mean, half of them are going to curse somebody this next game. That's the thing. What do you think about that last pick Tinker, the switch up, the old switcheroo? They do it instead of the Lina.
They don't have a good unit to TP on. I do really like that when you pick Tinker. Like Lycan Wolves are pretty good, as we saw in the earlier series. We saw the Lone Druid bear, but it is a great matchup versus the Queen of Pain,
Right.
I think. Yeah, pretty decent.
I like it too. It seems like it's Cuckoo Tinker. What else could you want, man?
Oh, yeah, he's even crazier on the Tinker than he is on the Queen of Pain.
Yeah. So what is it about him that just makes this
Blinks
guy?
in.
He blinks in, and then he just like lasers, rockets, everything's going all over the place. It's bananas.
Yeah, normally the mentality for a Tinker is you just want to be as elusive as possible. You want to stay in the trees. You just don't ever want to be seen. You just want the opponents to see rockets flying towards them. But Cuckoo, he plays it a lot differently. He blinks in, and normally as soon as you see the Tinker, like everyone jump on him. But his team's always there to back him up. Although I don't know about this case. I think if you get Ravaged, you probably die here as Tinker.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't even necessarily target the spells. Just throw it out there, and then you end up being in some issues. As we will have a short little pause here coming out from 1437 on the Lina.
I will say his Tinker is very good, though.
Yeah.
His Tinker is top-notch. It is just a different play style that I don't completely fully understand because he is so YOLO on that hero.
I mean, maybe the other teams don't understand it completely either, and it catches them off guard. Could be part of it as well.
And regarding the Bane versus the Sven matchup, yes, Sven is not going to fare well against single target disables such as Sleep and Grip, but on the bright side, Enfeeble not going to affect him too much, and it's really good versus the the Lycan. The Lycan struggles a lot versus the Warcry, and his wolves just die instantly to cleave. They have so little HP. 320.
Yeah, they get tore up. It's not necessarily the best in the world, and it does look like they're actually going to try and avoid as well in that lane as they're sending the Sven down towards the bottom lane with 1437. It's a really nice combination. You get that 2-second stun out from the Sven, and then afterwards you end up having the follow-up with late strike array. Could be a lot of damage dealt, not to mention just the naturally long attack range that Lina has chipping away at these guys.
Definitely so. I don't think their heroes are going to be that great at stopping him, especially because a hero like Bane is usually more suited towards harassing out in the mid lane. Sam H, is he going to be able to get this rune? KP, the click wars begin!
Doo-doo-doo. And Sam H wins. Game over. Now,
Easy 380 net worth lead already. 0.7 seconds, or sorry, 7 seconds into the game. If we extrapolate this,
I mean, it means that they're going to be 3,800 golden lead in a minute, right? That's the way that works.
yes.
All right, so a little bit of
Exactly.
the dual mid going on. They want to try and shut down this Tinker to the best of their abilities.
But that means that the bottom lane is going to struggle a lot as a result. At 1437 and Tim's, unfortunately the Observer is not watching, but they are in the trees just waiting for someone coming. KP is going to be the hero to TP in, but he has no idea where the rest of them are right now. And KP just struggling to kind of figure out what's going on here. It looks like his empty lane on bottom, but KP is going to show up. Is he going to show up? Wow, dude, he is next level with his position.
Yeah.
That is crazy that he can avoid this gank.
That is so good, too. I mean, that could have been awful. They have found a sleep now in the mid lane. Immediately, Lina going to make the rotation over, but will it be enough to save Cuckoo? He throws out the laser. That extra bit of damage is not going to come from SC, and that will save Cuckoo's life.
Nice play there from Lina. That is a very important play that you do not let your Tinker get destroyed in this lane. It is good in a straight one-on-one situation, but he's going to have to take a lot of time out on the side as he waits for a salve to go off, and he had to wait for the Shadow Strike to wear off before he could salve.
Look at this. They got 5 heroes mid right now behind enemy lines. You've got the Bane, who's going to be going for a full wrap. 1437 just trying to keep Cuckoo alive. And, well, they might even be able to punish this potentially. They skill up the March of the Machines. There's going to be a lot of damage onto these supports. Can they actually find a kill on anybody?
Wow.
They're forced back. That was really well played.
That level 1 March, that completely denied them. Level 1 March, you just do not stand in a March. It doesn't matter if it's level 1 or level 4. It's not actually that big with it's 16 versus 40, so a little less than half damage coming out from the level 1 March as opposed to level 4. But it especially this early in the game, it's just not something that you want to stand in. Even with Howl, I think they had Howl going on from Mugi.
Well, I mean, it is still so far a pretty nice laning stage for TNC. Quap is leading the way in terms of last hits. The Torrent not quite going to connect there from the hasted up Kaka as 1437. Just going to punch him in the jaw a few times as Kaka maybe going to try and run him down. He does a lot of damage. 1437 maybe in a little bit of trouble. Light Strike Array is going to connect and Hasterin about to wear off. So Kaka on the Kunkka. Going to get out of there.
That's a tongue twister.
I wanted to add one extra one, but I couldn't think of something in time. So
Kaka, Kunka, and Cuckoo. That was how to English.
Take a breath. it's a rough one for sure. So yeah, it's 3 minutes in. Sven now, Lina, they're down there. With a couple of levels up on the Tidehunter, it seems unlikely that they'll be able to find a kill, most likely.
Unlikely, yes. They don't have enough damage right now. Lina does attack very quickly, but her attack damage is not that high. Kraken Shell going to block the majority of that. Faith up in the top lane. Ooh, nice sleep cancel, but I don't think a single Ion Shell hero is going to be enough. Very nice reaction from Faith.
Yeah, and this is also, of course, Lycan moving into the jungle, and this gives Bane a nice bit of levels. This is something the hero loves to be able to get. If you can get into that level 6 early on, maybe find a couple of Fiend Script kills around the map on the Tinker before he ends up getting those bots up.
That would be good. They also do need a stack on the side of TNC a lot more. Sven and Tinker excellent at taking out stacks. They can even bring in the Darkseer and the Lina if they would like.
Oh, thinking about doing something there on a KP. They throw out the stuns, but really it was just to create that extra little bit of separation as Cuckoo keeping himself topped off here in this lane.
He has to bottle Crow, I believe. But SECC's only level 4 at the moment. A lot of his experience was sapped in the mid lane. 4-minute rune is going to spawn bot it, and it is just going to be Illusion for Kaka. Not the best rune, but if he gives it to SEC, C,
add one more C,
then it's value.
Yeah, I'd like to see more illusion runes get put to the use of trying to like stack up camps in the jungle. That seems like it'd be something that's pretty value in this patch.
Yeah, you can stack up 4 camps theoretically. Sometimes you can actually stack up 2 camps with 1 illusion, but that's pretty rare. Tidehunter doesn't really care. He can shrug this off.
Interesting build, Boots Orb of Venom.
Yeah, I think the Orb of Venom was because he thought he was going to be in a one-on-one situation, and it's really good for right-clicking down melee heroes. The thing about the Kraken Shell, it's not super effective versus Sven because he can just cleave him on the side. But Sven has actually committed to 2 points into the Stormhammer. We often see 1-4-1 coming out from Sven, but realizing that he probably needs the extra magic damage from Stormhammer in order to take down this burly Tidehunter.
Well, top lane, there's some action to brewing. Tim's in some trouble. They have the Howl as well. Torrent to follow this up. A nice little 1.5 second stun, and Tim's maybe in trouble. The X is there. Kaka draws first blood.
Nice play, and the Howl is very good during the nighttime. Sam H probably thought about waking up there. I was like, nah, his life is worth less than 9.
Yeah. Absolutely. The life of a support. You take those ones. It happens. Says bottom lane. They're going now onto KP. They have the follow-up stun if they want to use it. Kraken Shell hasn't ended up proccing. They're timing these together really well, and unfortunately not going to be able to get the block off because they have that phase movements with sprint. So Tim's, as well as the 1437, not able to find that kill.
Wow, Tidehunter is so hard to kill. Also, Tinker died in the mid lane. SCCC with a solo kill on the back of the Illusion rune. He did not even have to commit Sonic Wave for that. That is big.
I almost caught Tim's there as well, which might have been a kill since they had a DD on the Queen of Pain in the mid lane. They could have rotated in, but doesn't end up happening. So yeah, big kill on the mid lane, taking down the Tinker. Newbee looking a lot better in this one after deciding to go for that first pit Queen of Pain, and now going onto KP. This might be a little bit too scary. They're starting to bring in the heroes to rotate. Can they actually get anything off? He's not quite level 6, and they're not going to be able to find the kill. Instead, it's Raven who's under fire and maybe going to get denied. Oh, the plays! 1437 gets it off, but he will pay for it with his own life. Tim's now going to be pulled back in. But you know what? I think it's okay for them since they ended up getting the deny off nonetheless. It still sucks losing all these heroes here. Tim's eventually going to go down. Like a space created.
So much for KP in this game, though. Completely different from last game where he was sacked in the off lane. This lane he was sacked for a little bit, but his careful play at level 1 has propelled him to this lead.
Ooh, and up here top as well. They're going again onto Moogie. He is going to drop. Ion Shell onto Sven just makes this hero a terror to lane against.
That's actually what they need to kill the Tidehunter is the Ion Shell.
Yeah.
Ion Shell is probably the best way for them to deal with him, or Tinker, but Tinker almost has his CS doubled up by the Queen of Pain, and he's forced to jungle at the moment.
Yeah, not what you love to see on that hero, certainly, but he does sort of need that little extra bit of love in the early stages to help him through it, particularly since he had 2 heroes mid for a decent amount of time there. So
good thing he was prepared for it. He has 3 points in March already.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to jungle quite efficiently.
So as far as state of the game goes right now, 4-1. Even in terms of net worth, the Queen of Pain top in the marks. Maybe going to start to move around a little bit if the opportunity arises. Maybe with level 6 Tidehunter who now has Ravage and wrapped around upon. They could think about coming in now. Bane is going to make that rotation. Stun follows as well. And now with 4 heroes heading into this direction.
That could have been so bad if Kraken Shield popped at the right time.
And this is the thing. It's like it's always the newbie style to make a ton of rotations, and it feels like TNC is exploiting that, right? So we get this nice little replay there onto the kill onto Cuckoo. Wow, that's just the illusion runes. Wasn't respecting it.
It's a little bit extra damage. And Blind only hits 1 target.
Uh-oh, Raven. This should be the death of him. They have the Torrent follow.
He has a lot of armor.
See? They're in the area. Yeah, bringing in the Queen of Pain, it looks like it is going to be enough, as Raven is just going to be ran down and most likely killed off, possibly. They keep on taking a while to, kill off the targets.
That little bit extra time is important, though, as Tinker is managing to farm up stacks. He did not get a double stack, but he is able to do pretty well on his quest to get that BOTs up as soon as possible. And Moogie does not have that many places to farm.
He is going to pop the ulti right now and make this rotation in. Kaka there as well. They don't quite have vision, though, onto Sam H. Now they find him with the X, and that should be enough, although Tim's is also moving into this area, and he has the crush, able to dodge away from it. Nicely done by Moogie, and now Sam H. might be the one that goes down. Faith is there as well. They find 1 kill, and now soon to get another, in spite of the fact that they lost. Well, they actually don't want to go on him. They lost the Kunkka, and that's enough to force Newbee to back off.
If the Ion Shell is very strong versus the Lycan, and he did not have his shapeshift up any longer. Still SCCC doing great work on his Queen of Pain. No deaths as of yet, and just pressuring all around, trying to take down this tower solo up on the top lane as KP and Cuckoo kind of stare each other down. However, Cuckoo does not have a TP scroll yet.
He's going to be able to buy one in just a second. SC looking for this KP in the area as well. Do they find him? Oh, he did the okey doke. Now he's heading back the other way and back home as well in just a little bit as soon as he rearms his TP scroll.
He would have definitely gotten Ravage there if they had gotten a whiff of him. I have no idea how he was able to escape that one.
Zigged when they should have zagged. Is he sticking around here? Oh my god, he actually goes for the March of the Machines first, just to make sure that they don't end up pressuring that tower too much.
It looks like top tower is still going to fall as KP does take a lot of the tower. However, there is going to be a brawl in the bottom lane. StarLadder with his Ion Shell is getting scattered out by these wolves as Faith tries to catch up with a sleep.
Oh, this is scary.
Ooh, already level 6 on Tim. That's a little bit surprising.
Yeah. He's just been able to move around the map and pick up a bunch of those bounty runes, I would imagine, and getting up the experience as well as the boat is coming out onto 1437. This should be another quick and easy one, and No, this is what we saw as well in one of those earlier series, the strength of Kunkka. It's quite a good hero, particularly over these next couple of minutes, having that boat on such a low cooldown.
Yeah, and combine the boat with the Tidehunter. They might be mortal enemies, but still, their skill set synergizes quite nicely as Tidehunter needs to be able to survive to get his Ravage off. And even with a heavy magical burst, I don't think that they are going to be able to kill the Tidehunter if Kunkka throws his entire toolkit into saving him. And the X is such low cooldown. You just get pick after pick after pick after pick. 8-second cooldown at max level. And Faith going in for the play on Raven. He does not have grip up yet. He is really close to being level 6. And on the meantime, TNC go towards the bottom side. This is going to be a difficult kill for them, especially as soon as nighttime hits.
Yeah, they're moving in there. The smoke is going to break. They spot out Mugi, amp damage immediately, and now they have the Crush to follow. Vacuum back, trying to get that kill. Light Strike Ray, Laguna Blade, gone and dead. Faith, he actually turns around with the Fiend's Grip here and has been able to catch onto one. Sam H is going to be X'd as well. Can they end up doing this? They have enough to find one, but no more, I don't believe, as Sam H ran away. It was a nice combo with the Nightmare on one and the X on the other.
However, the Lycan did not have max Howl. He went for a 3-1-4 build, so he didn't actually cast Howl during that last engagement, but without max Howl, there is very little chance that he survives there. Nice use of the Laguna Blade from 1437. He needs to be able to get some kills so he can get some net worth so he won't get chased down by Wolfman.
And we haven't really had a Ravage as of yet coming out from Newbee, but I'm thinking more as this game goes on, particularly having that Lycan ability to move in and take Roshan, it could be a good opportunity. And now Kaka actually just is able to walk forward, break the smoke, and immediately drop the ward and kill off now the Darkseer. Maybe? Well, vacuum back. They try and do something, but they've got him. This is more than dead.
He tried to vacuum him down the cliff, but it ended up that actually all of them gotten vacuumed up the cliff. At the very least, I suppose that they do realize that they have him reserve ward up the hill because he did X him from downhill, but that's small consolation for losing your mid T1 tower.
Can they actually find this kill on Kaka? He still has his boat and is going to throw it now. So a lot of this Coco's rum is going to be there, and Tim's in trouble. In fire is going to end up going down here, it looks like. At least to the damage coming out from Kaka. The Sonic Wave able to connect, and they do take him down. But now they have Ravage available. They end up dropping it onto 2. Is it going to be enough to turn this? Cuckoo is also in trouble now. Mugi trying to find the kill. Raven ends up popping God's Strength, wants to fight this. He is going to be able to jump now onto KP, and they don't get a lot with the Ravage, but it does look like they will still bring down that Tidehunter.
Why was Cuckoo in the middle of all of them?
It's Cuckoo, man. Just Cuckoo things.
He did drop the March, and that did do a lot of damage. Looking at the recap for the team fight, Tinker did by far more damage than anyone else in the fight. Please click that button. Nope, he's not going to click it. But he did about twice as much damage as Sven and 4 times as much as any of his other teammates. And pretty decent Ravage. They still walk away with the prize T1 tower. So it will not all be in vain.
Yeah. And maybe thinking again about a Roshan the next time that the Ravage is up. Is that something that's easy for them to take, or is it scary going into like Tinker and Darkseer and all those other things?
It is definitely scary, but they do have Ravage, and they will have a medallion quite soon on Bane. He's about 500 gold away from his medallion, so they will be able to sync it up quite early. There is no Mask of Madness yet on the Lycan.
Oh my god. Oh, the Nightmare. It ends up coming out. Kaka still in a little bit of trouble, but SC jumps forward, and they will find the kill in return. So Kunkka able to live through that one, and SC with the haste rune making the most of it.
Yep. No, still no Howl coming out from Mugi. He's not like the other Lycans that I've seen. He's more about himself instead of just mass spamming Howl during nighttime anytime you see someone get jumped. But it is good for his net worth. KP taking out a tri-stack as Raven is tailed by a Lycan wolf, a mini wolf.
Yeah. You do get experience from the Lycan wolves, right? Is that a thing? I feel like I remember that being a thing. I could be wrong.
You mean that Mugi gets experience from the wolf?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Unless something radically happened during one of the changelogs that I'm not partial to.
Well, Sam H in the meantime, he has those arcanes. Mechanism is there as well. Maybe going to think about going for, in your eyes, do you think like Greaves is worth it to go over the Blink Dagger, or do you think they need that initiation?
That's a tough call.
Yeah.
I think it's always a toss-up for Darkseers. Like I've seen Darkseers versus Global Silence go for Blink over the Greaves because they want to get the jump first. So it just depends on what kind of player you are, whether you're the counter initiation or the initiation. He's a little bit of both, so probably a counter initiation is better, I would say, versus Ravage. But one thing he does have to worry about is the Orchid coming out on Queen. It is coming right now, 1437 getting chased down in the mid lane, but SCCC will not pursue as he picks up the Orchid. 16-minute Orchid, pretty good timing from him. Now Darkseer, yeah, I would say is probably Greaves now if you see that he's this close to Orchid.
This was really interesting, too. They are keeping Faith farming in that bottom lane, right? And then they have the Wolves following, and then all of a sudden TNC starts moving down to that bottom lane, and they end up keeping them alive. So in a lot of ways, these Wolves are just enabling so much from Newbee as far as their map vision around this area. I'm wondering if it might even be worth it to like invest into an early gem. I don't know if it's worth it.
I don't think so. But now, as soon as they complete the medallion, they do go for that early Roshan. Lycan is not very close by. Tinker will TP up to the top lane and blink into the trees, but something has to be funny. But you can't just walk into the Rosh pit like that, not without a blink dagger on the Darkseer. They will not be going for the play. As I don't even think they know, but likely.
Did also see the Halberd queued up right now for the Sven Raven, wanting to go back into that. It's not really, it's sort of defensive-y item, but also getting that extra damage, saving himself from maybe being run down by a combination of Queen of Pain or the Lycan as well.
It's hard because he needs his blink at the same time.
Yeah.
But maybe thinking that even if he jumps in, like, do you really want to initiate versus a Tide and a Kunkka? They'll probably get the boat off and the Ravage off, regardless of whether or not you blink in and get a good stun off. So maybe he wants to just survive in a team fight and accrue more net worth that way, which I think is a fine choice.
I'm feeling right now as well for Newbee, they've got all of these things coalescing together. You've got that, you know, Tide Hunter building towards the mechanism, or rather the pipe as well, I think is what he's trying to build into right now, to be able to start pushing down these towers and making moves and trying to, you know, close off the map. And if TNC aren't careful, they might just end up losing all agency as this game is 1437 is going to be found again. Right clicks the X, torrent, find a kill.
It doesn't matter what hero he is, he still tanks those smoke inks. So pretty good for TNC, I would say. Smoke for just the Lina kill. Lina, bottom of the net worth chart. It's very important that they do not catch this Slaughter. Slaughter 2/3 of the way to his blink dagger. And the towers will start getting mowed down, and I don't even think they need Ravage. It's just the threat of Ravage that will be enough.
Yeah, and of course the X marks the spot shenanigans from Kaka to make sure that they can always stay survivable and, you know, moving through the map, taking down those towers one after the other and being topped off on HP.
Yeah, maybe they do need a gem. These Wolves are constantly scouting them out.
Always a tough call. Cuckoo, in the meantime, he is over in the trees. They throw out the torrent in the exact spot where Cuckoo just was, but are not going to quite catch on to him there. So he is built back towards the Aghanim Scepter. Kaka decides not to X-mark the Tide as he has TP'd to the top lane now.
Amplify plus Tinker Rockets, I suppose, some synergy there. However, versus the likes of Tidehunter, it is very difficult to burst him down. And patience from SCCC, but he will not find any hero. 1437, wondering where that ward is.
I mean, he's still sticking around right now, and if Darkseer came over there, it doesn't look like he wants to try and go on him. Age is still there for SC. He can play very aggressive in these next couple of ganks, but it feels like Newbee right now content to just continue to try and exert their control over this map and maybe wait for a pickoff before they go for a big play as Faith. Well, Tims is there. If they end up spotting him, this is a Fiend's Grip waiting to happen. They do end up being able to find the stun, and now Kaka looking for that opening. He will have a Torrent for vision in a second if he wants. Can he get the X? He is going to be there, and that's going to be a pullback. Should be a kill as well as SC is here, as well as Faith and Mugi, and maybe a tower to boot.
That is at 1900 gold. That hurts if you're the StarLadder. Keep in mind, though, that despite Newbee getting more kills and some objectives, including Roshan, TNC are still ahead in net worth. Yeah. Cuckoo is doing a fantastic job of pushing out these side lanes and just making it impossible for Newbee to fight. And that's, I think, exactly what he should be doing right now, considering that they do have the Aegis and Tidehunter is just waiting for an excuse to cast Ravage.
Yeah. Maybe I was being a little bit like, we were talking about Cuckoo and how he's kind of insane on this hero, but he's also one of his signature heroes. The reason that he looks so crazy is because he knows the absolute limits of how far he can push that hero. Reminiscent of the earlier movement in towards mid that we saw last game, where he was barely able to stay alive from that troll jumping at him.
Yeah, he does certainly know the limits of this hero, and knowing when to fight and when not to fight is part of the intricacies of playing Tinker.
Tim's, like we said, hurt not getting that Blink Dagger, but we'll be getting towards it now as well.
They also have Blink Dagger up on Darks here, so now they can start comboing. I think they need the BKB on Sven, probably Blink and BKB on Sven before they can actually take a big fight. I don't know, maybe Blink is enough. Without BKB, I guess BKB doesn't actually matter that much because Bane Ravage will, or Bane Grip will still destroy him.
I guess it also depends on who they go and find, right? Because, if you can catch Kaka, for instance, at the start of a fight, that's a high priority kill to get and take the boat out of the whole engagement.
And even getting Vacuum Wall on someone like the Tide is still going to be pretty good. As long as Tinker doesn't die.
Well, he is getting closer to that Agnum Scepter as well, and Newbee, in the meantime, running low on the amount of duration of this Aegis. Well, they can, on TNC, basically just move around the map to wherever they want. Now that Blink done, maybe we'll start to see the group up. And Tidehunter also has a Blink Dagger. These fights are going to start to get a little bit crazy. Very excited. And this is one of those situations where I feel like sometimes Bane falls off a little bit in terms of his efficiency in finding kills around the map. Would you kind of agree with that? What does he need to be worried about in these engagements?
Not getting his grip interrupted. That is very hard to do versus a Blink Vacuum, because Vacuum is just massive AoE. Smoke going through the bottom lane. Kaka is going to be scouting out someone. They know that Kaka is over here. However, Tinker will be coming in.
Oh, there it is, Vacuum. They've got Kaka, but the boat is still going to come out. It's not going to connect onto these heroes that much, but it still is going to be the kill onto that Kunkka. And God, are they thinking about going high ground here? Are they
knock on the door? Why not? What's going to stop them? No X to pull them back. In case they do go uphill, it's not like Kunkka is going to buy it back when he has 20 seconds left on his respawn. So this is a little bit of free threatening, and they only see one hero here, and SCCC will TP back. So they got what they wanted. They wanted everyone to come back.
Yeah.
And they got the Observer Ward up there too. Faith staring right at the Observer Ward, but with no sentry in his inventory, it doesn't look like it is going to be taken down. Kaka, is he going to be able to deward it?
Not quite sure if it's going to come through or not.
I think it's important that they have this Observer Ward because it allows Tinker to move around a lot more freely.
Smart money.
Yeah, and he has basically just been able to do whatever he wants this game. We're also seeing StarLadder going back for the Hand of Midas here. Like, they keep on getting scouted out by the Wolves. That's definitely one thing that's into the favor of Newbee.
They can't do anything with it, though.
Yeah.
They just see the Wolves. Net worth still pretty tight at around 3,000, as TNC have the far better stack farming potential with Sven in the game.
And now into Greaves. These items are starting to come up that make the team fight easier for TNC, and it feels like they're starting to get into that, or over that small hurdle that was there. Certainly, it doesn't feel like a game where 13-6, you'd normally imagine that's the other team in the lead. Certainly not the case in this one.
And keep in mind that Tinker is the main damage dealer here, not Sven. So if Sven gets kited, it's okay, as long as Cuckoo doesn't die and Cuckoo is able to spam out rockets, and Tim's is able to cast Amplify on people so that he can spam rockets. And as you mentioned, the Ags is coming out very soon for Tinker. He can sell his Null and pretty much get it right now, so that it could be the sign go for them. They could also just wait for the BKB from Sven. But as I say, that 4 heroes smoke up as they wait for the Tinker to finish up his Scepter, and now it is time.
This is 4 Blink Daggers on TNC as well. If they catch sight of Newbee at all, the chase is not going to stop. They are going to go probably close into the base, honestly, depending upon how these work. And Ion Shell onto 2 heroes as well. Sam H is going to be a heavy damage dealer. KP is not the target they want to go on at first.
Absolutely not. As soon as they see him, they run away. That's a trap. For sure. That's
a trap for show.
It's a trap that they're not gonna. It's so obvious though.
Yeah.
The Tidehunter, he's just a Ravage at this point, and he's just a damage sponge. So if you ignore him, you're fine. You can't kill him without a Dagon, I would say, on Tinker. And even then, you probably need like 2 Dagons and an EB to be able to burst him to the point where he can't cast Ravage. So better just to ignore and farm because you do have the better stack farmers.
Yeah. Well, and you've got the Hand of Midases that are eventually going to be coming online that allow you to scale even further into the late game. So.
And now they have the high ground defense with the Tinker and the Eggs. Yeah. So they're not really under any threat of losing the game in the next 10 minutes, unless something drastically goes wrong and Cuckoo is as crazy as I make him out to be.
I mean, in this game for Newbee, what is it that they're trying to accomplish right now? Because it feels like they're just content to keep farming up. Are they? Oh, almost went there on a KP.
Yep, heard of God Strength.
But yeah,
what are they looking for? They're looking for TNC to go onto the Tidehunter and get Ravaged and turn it around. That's what they're looking for. Yeah. But they are actually starting to scale too. Kaka has switched from a Crystallis into a Lotus Orb. Lotus Orb is one of the best items versus Tinker. However, because there is so much spread damage, and he went for an Ags build as opposed to a Dagon or a Scythe build, it's not going to be as effective as Kaka probably hopes.
So is Kaka, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the Lotus there. And I mean, it's still something where you can maybe keep somebody alive. Yeah.
Yep. But they will smoke as they complete the BKB onto the Lycan, and that may be the sign that they're looking for. It is going to be taken down, but even with this, what can they do with it? Can they push objectives? Maybe they can get a T2 or maybe 2 T2s out of it, but pushing high ground into Tinker, especially one that has buyback, is just not really something that you want to be looking at right now.
I mean, it certainly feels like we're getting strapped in for a late game here. Like TNC, they don't want to push too hard, but they're also the ones that are in the lead. And I mean, could it all change in an instant off of one big team fight here? The sort of state of the game, or is it pretty much stock and standard the way it's going to be right now?
I don't think either team wants to take that risk right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the risk of your TNC? You know you have the high ground defense, so you just wait for Newbee to push into you. And you know some of these heroes are just going to die in like 1 or 2 hits from Sven once he gets big enough. And he can even get like BKB Lincolns, let's say, to be completely immune during the BKB. And Bane can't do anything if he has a Lincoln. So I don't know if Sven is going to go for that. He is quite limited on item slots right now that he has 5 of his 6 slots filled.
Yeah.
So will he get a Lincolns? Will he get a Daedalus? Will he get a Bloodthorn? Not sure yet.
Look at this. TNC maybe setting a trap in motion. They do have Sam H there. SC, he's in the forest. They spot it. Pop God Strength. Going to jump forward onto Bane right at the start with the Force Staff to keep him alive. They do have Ravage available if they wanted to go for it. They're kiting them away. They still have eyes onto KP. SC, BKB has already been popped, but he's taking a ton of damage. Raven is going to be kited to the point where he's not able to do anything any further, and now it looks like Newbee have indeed given up hope for KP, at least for the moment. Has a Force Staff back up in 2 seconds, but already dead.
What a trap. TNC are extremely intelligent about the way they take fights and know that the way that Newbee want to take a fight, you have Tidehunter in front, everyone in the back, and you hope that they go on a Tidehunter, or you position yourself so that they have to go on a Tidehunter. But when TNC are just all in the trees and they just wrap around sneakily and just eliminate your only anti-BKB at the start of the fight, there's no way that you can win a fight. So Bane now rises a lot in stock for both teams. Newbee know that they have to protect him. TNC know that they have to kill him, as evidenced by the last fight. So how do you actually protect him? Do you need to smoke him up? Do you need to buy a Glimmer Cape? Do you need to just permanently sit in the trees if you're him? Do you need better vision from the Lycan Wolves so that this jump doesn't happen? All these factors have to be considered.
And I mean, they have things like the gem here for SC that we talked about maybe wanting to pick up.
He doesn't have enough slots, though.
Yeah, I know. It is a problem. Maybe the Lotus Orb is the answer as well. But by and large, it feels as if Newbee's options for keeping him alive are pretty limited just because of how mobile all of TNC's heroes are. It sucks to play Bane this game. That's the long and short of it.
I would certainly agree with that. I would not want to be Bane in this game. Of all 10 heroes, that is probably the one I would pick the least.
I got a chance to play Bane recently. He's a lot better this patch in some ways. There's a lot of reasons I think people take him. I remember I felt really bad about one game we ended up losing, and I felt really good about another game, and we also ended up losing. So I don't know if it says about him or me, but something to keep in mind.
He did get buffed in, what, slight stat gain?
Yeah.
I think Agi and Int got matched to his strength. I'm not sure if anything else got buffed.
Got that
Oh, yeah,
Ags.
he got the Ags. But, I mean, this is Faith we're talking about.
Faith is not going to be
Faith
getting
is probably one of the poorest competitive players in-game. Also, Fiend's Grip does damage at half-second increments instead of 1 second. That is barely a buff.
Yeah. I guess it's more about the way that the meta is shifted to favor him more, and that's why we're seeing Newbee decide to pick him up.
That's certainly true. It is more laning phase, which is why we have seen such a resurgence of Quap in these prior tournament days.
Oh, is that a pick? Oh, nice blink away. StarLadder able to survive for the moment, and Cuckoo's coming in as well. So again, just dodging these things out. Newbee not wanting to give up any type of a fight, and it feels as if TNC are really the ones that are dictating the motion of the map to the tune of them also taking a net worth advantage and driving that even further ahead, as they're about 5,000 roughly net worth into the lead. As far as levels are concerned, we don't actually have a chance to look at that, but we'll check it out in just a second here. There's the net worth, so we can see. Shiva's guard picks up for SC as well.
The armor is okay here versus the Amplify, but I think it's very good at catching out Tinker in the trees. Tinker is going to be extremely difficult. Lycan does not have the mobility. He's very fast, but he can't hunt down a Tinker in the trees. He doesn't have flying vision. He can't cut down trees. He doesn't have like a Force Staff to catch up with him. He doesn't have a Yule to stop his Blink Dagger. There's a lot of things that Tinker can do to prevent himself from being killed by the Lycan.
Ooh, they think they're safe because the Wolves were in the area, but little they know they're already there. They're on top of that Quap and just gone in an instant.
And
Kaka now in
down.
trouble. Oh no, this is not the way they wanted it to go. Newbee getting ran at. Raven just does so much damage. Dismantled again inside his own damn base. A big old stun comes out. They're diving found. They don't even give a damn.
Oof, losing Quap like that. I've seen so many heroes die in that exact same spot with the high ground ward.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous, dangerous camp to farm when you do not have control of that area. And yeah, he has BKB, but doesn't matter if he gets stun locked.
They don't have buyback right now on the Quap. They just don't have any way to take this engagement at all. TNC basically just farmed till the point they were like, all right, let's end the game now almost. They're going to maybe get this lane of Rax potentially?
They know the Tidehunter's rendered useless by the BKB on Raven, and then they know that they can't push high ground because of the huge farm on Cuckoo. So they force out a BKB and an ulti from Mugi without really losing anything of their own. SCCC is almost up right now, though, but...
Oh, there's an X. That's a good one. They don't have BKB here on the Sven, but able to dodge away from the Torrent. It does look like he's going to be able to make that escape. So Newbee not getting anything in this one and just going to be forced back again, back to their high ground. TNC looking incredibly disciplined and like they're all on the exact same page.
This is a very heavy strategic tournament for TNC. Like in the ways that they utilize the Jakiro in the first day, the Luna push 5-man in the first game, and this game their timing with the Tinker and the Sven has been impeccable, and it just looks like Newbee's chances are futile when they don't have any options available to them. Push high ground, Tinker will destroy you. You can take the Roche, but you can't actually do anything else. You can't win the team fights because the Sven with BKB will maul anyone down, and Bane is their only control for him. Lycan stands little chance at killing the Sven through the BKB because of the Warcry. So what else do you have?
Yeah, there's not much. It's also just like making sure leading up to this point that they haven't taken those fights that would allow Newbee to start snowballing. Like, I don't think we saw a Fiend Script kill this game, and it's based off of good movement.
You also have to consider that TNC saw the items that Newbee were building. They built a pipe on the Tidehunter. He went pipe Arcane, so pipe first item, and then the Queen of Pain went for Orchid. These are not farming items. I would say Veil is much better for farming than Orchid. Just I think it's way easier to push out the lanes very, very quickly, and you still have that fighting potential, but Orchid is almost purely for fighting. I guess you get a little bit of mana regen, but that's small constellation. And the Tidehunter with Pipe, if you don't use the Pipe and no fights happen, this has been a pretty low-kill game. You're not getting any value out of that, and you would have wanted to go the Midas, like the StarLadder and the rest of TNC went for like a very heavy, okay, stack, farm, and now this net worth lead has just been 10,000, growing every single minute as TNC make better use of the map.
Well, and there are still things available for Newbee as far as fights to take, and well, maybe they've actually caught the Tinker right here. The silence is down on top of them, but can they actually do anything? They turn to fight as well. Raven comes in, big bad, out of control. The Sven going to be able to catch on to Faith, bringing him down to boot.
Baited.
My
See, that's
God.
cuckoo for you. He goes and it's like, ah, yeah, I'm about to die, right? Nope. Just gets slammed by Raven. And my God, he hits hard. He hits for 600 right now.
TNC,
that's pretty much game. Queen of Pain doesn't have buyback, and pretty swift ending for this sort of game, but I think the feeling of hopelessness was hanging over and looming over Newbee the entire time as they have this Lycan, but they can't take any objectives. They didn't even take a tier 2 off the back of 2 agencies. They can't use the Ravage at all because they're not in a position to get caught out at all. They don't have any catch for the Tinker.
Yeah, this is desperation time for sure at this point. And TNC just going to, again, make another very easy back-out move together. They are going as 5 wherever they end up heading out. The exception of Tinker is just running all over the damn map. But really, really precise and, as you said, technical display from TNC as they decide to move in, take down the shrines.
Yep, technical knockout.
TKO, yeah, that's what's up. Very well done. And again, I've been watching this TNC team for a while. They are still showing all of the same skill that this team has always had, but there's a little bit more cohesion. I have to wonder if it's, you know, the influence of Demon.
That's the only thing that's changed.
Yeah.
I suppose the patch, but it hasn't changed drastically enough that it would warrant this big of a change in playstyle. And now Newbee, they know they have to contest the next Roche if they have any shot at advancing further into this Star Series, and they are just one game away from being eliminated.
Again, it's haven't been like a straight-up fight from Newbee, and that was something that, you know, we saw in the last game. Even after they ended up getting Mega Creeps, they were still able to take the fight, sort of, and they found the kill with the Troll and stuff like that. And I still feel like the team fight from Newbee hasn't been fully shown. It's just been like TNC finding a pick off and then immediately taking an objective and then backing off afterwards.
That's because Quap dies immediately.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she can't itemize versus it. You get Lincolns to block Stormhammer, you just get StarLadder stunned and Lina stunned to die. Your Lincolns is useless. You get armor and you die to Tinker and Lina because they have a ton of magic and pure damage. And what else do you get? You get HP, you do no damage. Right. So there's not really a great way for them to itemize as soon as the BKB came out from the Sven, because you want Ravage is your combo breaker. Ravage is the thing that's supposed to turn around the fight for you completely, but were there any decent Ravages this game? No, because TNC didn't allow him to cast Ravage this game.
Yeah. Oh, man. Vacuum wall back in again. They do get that Ravage. This might be the answer. SC is there. They've got the Fiend Grip. They got the boat. Can they finish it off, though? Raven, still so much damage coming out from a Moogie. Just tickling. They are finally going to be able to bring down that Sven. 85 seconds on the background. The crowd with a little bit of life back inside of it. Sam H going to be pulled down as well. So that might open up Roshan for Newbee.
So much for Ravage not doing anything this game. That was a perfect Ravage from them. Sven did not get his BKB off in time, and he just got chain disabled Ravage into Fiend's Grip and was way too low to take a fight. If he were at like 10% HP, maybe he could have done a little bit more, but he was at maybe like 3 or 4%, and that little bit of lifesteal from Mask of Madness was not able to keep him alive. But Roshan is up. I don't think that Newbee will be able to capitalize on this very much. I don't know, maybe they can go for Roach right now. They still have 40 seconds left with no Sven.
Yeah, and they can scout things out with Wolves to make sure that Moogie doesn't get ran at. He has Shape Chip back up as well, but Tinker going to try and put a kibosh on that as the March of the Machines will keep Moogie out.
Good luck, Moogie. Good luck.
There's a DD bottom, but 1437 is going to take that.
20 seconds left. It's still kind of the same position as it was last Roshan, though. They don't have to fight the Roche because they know that TNC's high ground is going to be better.
Yeah, this is a very much a necessary move by them, and You do have to be at least a little bit concerned. Cuckoo is going to start to come in, but it does look like Roshan maybe going to go down. Still very much alive, though. They need to bring it down very quickly. Tims, he's not going to be able to come in and disrupt it. Instead, he is just going to fall. There's the vacuum only onto one. Raven here, but he's not doing quite enough damage to this Tidehunter, who is still staying alive through this. Doesn't have the ability to blink away, and that will be the death of KP. Can they get out with the rest of them? There's the sheep onto one. Sven, Fiend's gripped, but it's not going to end up being able to be there. They kill off that Aegis Quap, and now Faith also going to fall.
There's perma hex coming out. That was a nice little fight though from Newbee.
Yeah. Gem on the ground. Daedalus is now there for Raven as well. Even when it looks good for Newbee, there's always a caveat, and TNC really taking advantage.
Too many items. The Sven is just monstrous.
Well, Tier 2 tower, the last thing standing between TNC and that last vestige of high ground is they're moving up. And Newbee, at this point, you gotta hope for everything to land on top of that Sven and still have something left over for the rest of TNC. They have a DD rune in the bottom as well. Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah, with the strength buff, it's more and more damage for Raven.
You know what the play is for efficiency? You get Boots of Travel, you pop God Strength, and then you pick up the DD, the Dream.
Why pop God Strength?
Because then you get the bonus strength from it.
Yeah, but you don't have to pop God Strength right as you pick it up.
Beforehand, right?
Well, I mean, DD still, it scales as you increase in strength. So
Okay.
no need to pop your God Strength immediately. Pop it right when you're about to fight. Lasts a long time. You are not a king of efficiency.
I'm not a king of efficiency. I don't know why I try.
It's okay.
So 16 to 17, 21,000 net worth right now is the lead for TNC.
Yep, look, he's hitting for 500 before God Strength. That is scary.
Oh my God.
With God Strength, he's at what, maybe 800 damage or something like that?
Oh no, this is going to be really, really rough. You reconnect to the game, and it might just be to watch Newbee get ran at.
Okay, Quap is there. I think Quap might just die here.
Oh, there's the jump forward. 1, 2, 3. He's got some armor. SC, though, is gone. The BKB nowhere near enough to keep him alive, but they have the Fiend script. Maybe there's something brewing. A way to possibly bring down this Sven. The Ravage is out. Can they kill him off in this duration? Minus armor there as well from that Tidehunter Aghanims. And Raven actually in a little bit of trouble with the stun comes in from Tims. Vacuum wall onto 2. And TNC just sucked the soul right out of this building as the ultra kill came from Cuckoo.
And we have our grand finalists for Star Series. It will be TNC that advances into the grand finals. Theben looks very happy. Raven looks very happy. All of TNC pleased with the performance, and it was a smooth cruise in game number 2.
That was looking really, really good. And like you said, it's this team. You have a team that ended up getting denied at Kiev, even though they were expecting so much of themselves. Theben ended up, of course, getting kicked from his old team and then makes the journey over and to play in their first tournament together in the grand finals. What a story for this team. It looked really, really scary. I might be a little bit concerned if I was Liquid.
Yes.